Hello, good evening. Welcome to an OBC News special. I am Wells the King. I'm joined with John of Doon and Dreamers RBX. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hello.
Okay, so
Good
in
evening.
the past few, I learned about the Taliban taking over Afghanistan. The latest that we know so far is that most of the UK embassy staff have already been evacuated. Most of the 600 British troops have now arrived in Kabul. They say the Royal Air Force has already flown the embassy on military flights. However, the UK ambassador and a small number of British nationals. That is the latest we know at this hour. Let's talk to our guests. We'll have more on that program. Let's talk to our guests. Let's start off with John. So, what do you think of this?
This has been a failure, honestly. In my view, over here on the other side of the Atlantic, this has been America's worst intelligence failure since Tibet. We are seeing similar scenes to when the embassy in Tibet was evacuated with the helicopter on the roof. We are seeing the exact same thing, and the implications have impacts worldwide. Like everyone else, I particularly feel worried for the women over there who will have their freedoms curtailed as a result. Under these past few years, it was like they could do a bunch more stuff now. They could go to school. They could open up their own businesses. They were kind of independent, and that is all being taken away from them as a result of a pledge made by President Biden to get our troops out. This was started under the Trump administration. However, I believe the plans have been poorly executed, and have we thought about this more, we might have not seen what would happen today.
Totally. We did see a statement from Biden. We'll look for it, but earlier we about helicopters were seen landing, and we spoke about this earlier today. But Dreamers, do you have anything else to say?
I think this is just all the fault of the governments of the UK and America, really. I mean, they shouldn't have pulled their troops out in the first place. It's just plunged it all into failure and let the Taliban take over. So, yeah, in the long run, this is probably going to be worse than it could have been if troops were already stationed there. So, yeah, that's all I have to say, really.
Yeah. We do have more news about the American side of this. The US flag has been lowered in the US embassy. The ambassador has left, and it's left to the Secretary of State and Blinken to put on a brief face about these events. We're just getting an update right now. Do we? No. Anyway, the former Afghan president said he would leave, but turns out he is actually staying in Kabul. We brought you this during our special report earlier, but he released a video on Facebook to tell his followers to remain in Kabul. Standing with his three daughters, he said, "Dear Kabul citizens, he and his family are with them. We hope the issues of our country and a good way and peacefully." He also said, "I call on the security force movement, wherever they are, to ensure the security of life and property of people and pay attention to the life and property of people. Both our security forces and forces are with the Taliban." That's a statement from Hamid Kazari, Afghan's force. The Taliban now control 11 district centres in Kabul. A spokesman said they entered the districts to ensure. We'll have more on that story as soon as we. Boris Johnson called a call meeting for today. Might be while we're speaking, but obviously this is a very big story, and we will keep you up to date with the latest. And Parliament will be recalled from summer recess on the 8th of August to discuss this matter. Anyway, let's get on to more main news. Prayers have been said at a church as the city mourns 5 people shot dead on Thursday. Churches across Devon are using Sunday services. At St Thomas's Church in Keam, prayers were said for the 5 killed, as well as for 22-year-old gunman Jake Davidson. Father David Way said, "It is a time of shock and hope, but it's also a time of hope. We have to have faith and hope this time." Also this evening, a woman thought to be in her 70s has died being stabbed. Police were called around 2:10 British Standard Summertime on Saturday following reports of a disturbance at property on St Luke's Road in Nottingham. A man in his 20s was arrested on suspicion of murder and taken to hospital. We will be back after a break watching an OBC News special.
See you in a bit.
Welcome back to an OBC News special. We're still joined by our next, and I believe Dreamer wants to say something. So go ahead, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So I'd like to start off by saying my uncle served for a very long time in Afghanistan. And I think seeing stuff from his perspective, it almost feels like all of his work that he's done is pretty much a waste for him now. So, I mean, it would have been easier just to completely avoid this and keep on serving there, rather than pulling everyone out and letting the Taliban take over control. Because at the end of the day, it's just going to obviously lead to impending doom. Like, just to even consider pulling out troops is a stupid move for the people, and it almost feels like Palestine versus Israel again, which is a situation we do not want to be seeing again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. At around 7:27 British summertime this morning, the US began evacuating its embassy in Kabul. Obviously, Kabul is the only major city still under Afghan government control and not the Taliban. We still have some more news about that. John, do you have anything to say?
Yes, actually, I do have a statement from U.S. President Biden that was released yesterday in regards to the situation. He went on and said that he's been in close contact with his national security team. He deployed 5,000 troops. He ordered the armed forces and the intelligence community to ensure that they'll maintain the capability and the vigilance to address further terrorist attacks from Afghanistan, terrorist threats from Afghanistan, rather. He's also ordered the Secretary of State to support President Ghani and other Afghan leaders. He has also conveyed to the Taliban representatives in Doha that any action on their part would result in swift U.S. response. That he's put the ambassador in charge of a whole of government effort to process, transport, and relocate Afghan special immigrant applicants and other Afghan allies. I believe 8,000 has been 8,000 who worked with the government has been transferred to the U.S. And then he went on to defend his motion. And later on in the statement, he then addressed that that America went to Afghanistan 20 years ago to defeat the forces that attacked this country on September 11th. That resulted in the death of Osama bin Laden. He pointed out that we've sent troops, 300,000 troops, invested nearly $1 trillion US, and that when he came to office, he inherited a deal cut by former President Trump, which invited the Taliban to discuss at Camp David on the eve of 9/11 in 2019. It left the Taliban in the strongest position military since 2001 and imposed a May 1st, 2021 deadline. the forces were cut down to 2,500 troops. Then he was faced with a choice, and then he added that he was the fourth U.S. president to preside over American troop presence in Afghanistan. Quote, to Republicans, to Democrats, I would not and will not pass this war onto a fifth, end quote. So he's defending his move while saying what he is doing at this moment. President Biden has been briefed throughout the weekend at Camp David, where he's obviously staying for until Wednesday, I believe, according to the official schedule set out by the White House. But has gotten some criticism by U.S. politicians saying that he should be monitoring the situation closely. But otherwise, if I got more, let's see. Yeah, the president has left. That's all I got at this moment.
Okay. So talking about President Biden, I believe that he wants all of the troops out of Afghanistan in September, which would have been the 20th anniversary of the September attacks. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct, which has drawn criticism by those who served in Afghanistan. A couple of 9/11 memorial organizations have asked President Biden not to participate in any memorial events on that day due to a bunch of stuff. So, pretty devastating situation on his end. He held the promise, and but the execution is going out horribly.
And I guess with what has happened today and throughout the past month, that probably won't happen.
I agree. The White House tweeted about 19 minutes ago that the president and vice president met with their national security team. Here are updates on the drawdown of civilian personnel in Afghanistan, evacuations of SIV applicants and other Afghan allies, the situation in Kabul. I believe the Taliban has taken control of the presidential palace. Yeah, they have. There is video from Al Jazeera showing the Taliban in the presidential palace, meaning that the country is officially under Taliban control.
Okay, I'm pretty sure if we get that video to the gallery.
Yeah, I have the video. I will send it to you.
Okay. While that happens, let's talk about the UK side. OBC understands that the UK Parliament will sit on Wednesday. The Downing Street source said Prime Minister Boris Johnson is set to recall MPs from the summer recess to discuss the situation in Afghanistan. Shadow Foreign Secretary Lisa Nandy said it beggars belief that in all the face of that, the UK government has been slow to respond. What we need to hear now is an actual strategy of the government. She said that it had been clear for days that it had been a catastrophic miscalculation by the US and the UK, breathed the strength of Afghanistan's government. Sorry about that. The decision by allies to pull out of Afghanistan showed a lack of strategy patience, stripped the Afghan army of their logistics and air support, and convinced them they would be tomorrow. Conservative MP Tom Tugendhat told BBC he suggested the strategy embodied Taliban militants, allowing them to sweep through many major cities.
I'd like to just say that if Parliament recalls on Wednesday, then it's too late and Taliban may have complete control over Afghanistan by then. Including Kabul, and there could be plenty of fatalities. It would be much easier to bring the decision forward to Monday at the very latest, like midnight on Monday. If we go past that time, then the Taliban will just gain leverage. If we don't send more troops out there, it's just going to be carnage.
Because they have obviously swept through for the past 10 days. And how many days until Wednesday? 3-4 days? Like, that is a very long deadline. I would expect the government to move much quicker, because obviously Afghanistan could be under full control
Especially under such a situation like this, where it is people's lives that are going to be lost if
Yes.
we don't step in.
Anyway, I'm just looking at the news reporting of this, and there's a picture that I saw which is truly devastating. It was a store that like highlighted women's dresses that had like loads of pictures. The picture was a painter painting the windows white so they wouldn't be able to see it, and the images being like stripped down. I wonder if we could get that image shown on the air. It should be up in a few. Do we have that video that John was talking about? All right, here it is.
I guess not.
I
No,
believe
we do.
we do. I
Oh.
believe we have both. I'm not sure if the gallery will put it on, but
I'm pretty sure it's already.
I think so, yeah.
surreal to see. If you're looking on screen right now, completely surreal to see. The president has left, vice president has left. I forgot where they went to, but basically there is literally no sign of any government. It's all basically Taliban's control.
This is almost reminding me of Crimea back in, when was it? The Crimea War, where Parliament was taken over Parliament, I say Parliament. Buildings were taken over and used as Parliament buildings for the new sort of Republic of Crimea that was set up, and it's still not recognised, but they still exist within that area. It reminds me a lot of when that was taken over on Vice News coverage. It showed a lot, and if you look back at that, this situation is very similar. It's gonna get worse. So,
we have some just some news in the past few minutes. Afghan President Ashraf Ghani says he has made the difficult decision to leave the country as the Taliban advance to avoid bloodshed in the capital city of 6 million people. Ghani made the comment in a Facebook post addressed to Afghans. His first remarks since the country. Some reports say he has gone to Tajikistan. I don't know if I've got the pronunciation correct.
Kazakhstan?
No, it's not Kazakhstan. It's
Alright.
I'm not even gonna. Anyway, it seems like everyone is to help. Military aircraft are headed to Kabul to evacuate Germans and Afghan staff, said Germany's foreign minister. The planes will leave tonight for the Afghan capital, passengers to a neighbouring country. Civilian aircraft will then fly them to Germany. A small team will stay in the embassy to assist in further actions. Reuters reported that the foreign minister said that fewer German citizens were still in Afghanistan, alongside remaining officials. That is the latest for this evening. Do you guys have anything else to add?
No, but yeah, I think if you are out there, please stay safe, and yeah, that's it from me.
John, any final words?
This moment, we are kind of in a state of shock and awe, and the next couple of days will be crucial to the world's response if we do anything at all. I don't think that anything will be done on our part, so I feel helpless here, and all I can do is just basically watch, and I feel helpless here. That's all for me.
Totally. Well, that is it for us tonight.
I'll see you on This Morning next week, maybe.
Yes, and John, is there anywhere we will see you on
Give me somewhere, that's for sure.
somewhere? Okay.
You'll be floating around, won't you?
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for. It's been great having you guys on.
Thank you
very much.
Of course, stay tuned to the OBC YouTube channel for latest updates. if there is any more substantial things happening, we will come on the air a special. But that is it for tonight's OBC News special.
Alright,
I've been
see
Monster
ya.
King. Have a very good and safe.
Good night, everyone.
Ta-ra.